on the News Channel 5 network. This is the plus side of Nashville.
Hi, and welcome to the plus side of Nashville. I'm Tawanda Coleman. You know, a skill so many of us are lacking these days is sewing. Without those who take the time to learn how to sew, where would we be, right? Naked? I hope not. But Sew for Hope is an organization that teaches refugees how to sew, and they do so, and it helps them have totally changed their lives for the better. We're going to learn more about the great work that Sew for Hope is doing in just a bit, but first, sadly, in Tennessee, suicide is the second leading cause of death of people ages 10 to 19 years old. Also, the numbers are growing for our teens struggling with drugs and alcohol. The number of teens in need of help is simply growing. So how can we help our young people who are at risk of destroying their lives? Erikas Safe Place is a Williamson County nonprofit that is trying to prevent at-risk youth from destructive behavior and to help them get their lives back on track. Creighton is the organization's founder and CEO, and she's joining me now with more. Welcome, Katie.
Thank you.
So tell me of the mission of Erikas Safe Place, the mission, and how the whole name came about.
Okay, so Erikas Safe Place, the whole purpose of what we do is prevention. And so in Williamson County, until Erikas Safe Place started, there were not any other programs that offered prevention type of services for at-risk youth. And it seems though all of those programs and services are put into place once kids are in state's custody. So we tried to figure out what could we do outside of school hours, because that's typically when kids get into trouble, that would help get them back on track and kind of prevent them from getting into more trouble or dropping out of school, teen pregnancy, self-harm, anything like that. And so our main goal is prevention.
Okay.
And so Erikas Safe Place was named after a friend of mine that committed suicide in 2015. So at that time I decided, well, because of the struggles that she faced when she was younger as a teen, it only makes sense to kind of name it after her, because it's the same thing my teens are going through now.
Exactly. But you had the idea for a safe place before your friend Erika passed.
Yes, so I've been in social services about 6 years now, and I went back to MTSU for my master's to start a program such as the one I'm doing now. It was not until after she passed that I decided to kind of speed that process up a little faster than I expected. So I graduated in May and started the program in October after speaking to her mom.
So what age group are we talking about that you serve, and what seems to be the biggest problems that our youth are facing today that you see?
Well, the kids that I see at Erikas Safe Place, my youngest has been 13. And so anywhere between 13 and 18, I do work with some 19-year-olds that are still in high school. So there are still some that are seniors, you know, that are 19. So I do work with them as well. The biggest struggle that I see with youth today is just alcohol and drug, self-harm, especially for my young girls. The boys, anger management, just, you know, they're lacking in that skill. So those three are the main things that I'm seeing that are a concern with the youth.
What's interesting, you have really changed your life. In the few years that Erikas Safe Place has been about, you've been able to really share your story, because you've had somewhat of a troubled teenage years, didn't you? I
did, yes. So Erika and I actually went to high school together. So I kind of got into some of the trouble with her, and when I graduated and kind of started to grow up, I guess to say, I kind of started going into a different path, and I wasn't aware of some of her recent struggles that she was still going through. But I overcame a lot. I struggled at home. I argued with my mom a whole lot. I got in trouble at school. I always made great grades. I just was getting into things that I shouldn't have. And I actually even went through juvenile court myself when I was a sophomore, I believe. So yeah, so you're able to share your story with the young people that you work with now. Yes, absolutely. So I just tell my kids, you know, I kind of just give them a brief description of kind of what I went through, and talked about my childhood, and just said, you know, there's always an option B, and there is light at the end of the tunnel, and eventually you have to decide, do I want better or do I not? And it just comes down to believing in yourself, and once you do that, I mean, the sky's the limit. Well, I want to learn more about Erikas Safe Place. We got to take a break, but we'll be back with more, so stay with us.